Hello and welcome to a new episode of Jump In Let's Play. This week we are playing Horrified, which pits 1 to 5 people against 2 or more monsters. These monsters are the iconic Universal Studios monsters. So we've got classic characters like Dracula here, and we've also got the creature from the Black Lagoon, which is starting with us today. We also have a whole variety of other monsters as well, you can see in here, including Frankenstein's monster and Bride of Frankenstein. We've got Wolfman, the Invisible Man and the Mummy in there as well, all with varying degrees of difficulties. We'll be playing the starting setup, that is Dracula and Creature from the Black Lagoon, and the idea is that we need to defeat them and send them back to where they came from. So for Dracula, you can see here we've got to go around, we've got to smash all of his coffins, and we've got to do so with a certain prerequisite. And then our second phase, once we've done those, we can overcome Dracula like so. And then for the Creature from the Black Lagoon, we've been picked that one up here. You can see here we've got to find his hidden lair, so we'll be moving around at the camp using different tokens here, and then driving the creature away for the second bit to completely defeat him. At the back of each monster, it will give you a setup for each of the different monsters that are in the game. Our monsters will also have a little rundown of what you need to do, and also a special ability that will happen on the monster's turn. So, the rest of the board. We've got our village here. The village is comprised of several locations. At the start of the game, you will be taking 12 objects out of this bag. These are these ones here. And you'll see that they have a value, and they have a colour and a starting location. So where they need to be placed. We start with 12 on the boards at random. We then place our characters, so we've got our 2 characters here. It will give you their starting locations, and they're placed at their starting locations. Anything that the monsters require, so Dracula has got these 4 caskets. You can see we've got one at the crypt, graveyard, the dungeon and the cave there. And for the Creature from the Black Lagoon, we've got the special camp here, and we've got the little boat here that will be trying to find his hidden lair. The monsters have their monster deck, so this will move our monsters around. It will also place villagers that we will need to rescue onto the village spaces, as well as extra clues there. So we've got a deck for that. The players also have their own deck as well. These are perks. Each player starts with 1 perk. These are 1 use only, and when they're done, they get discarded. We get more perks by safely escorting villagers to their safe location. So we'll just show you some of the villagers there. So they'll be like these here, for example. So Elizabeth, you need to get her to the tower. She may start anywhere on the board according to what the cards here tell us to do. Finally, we have the terror marker up here. So every time one of the monsters defeats either a villager or one of the heroes, this will be moved up. If we get to the 7th, then the game is over. If we get through this whole deck, the game is over too. So we are on a time limit. Players can mitigate a hit by discarding a token that they may have picked up. We'll place that there. This is the frenzy token. So some monsters will be frenzied, and they will get perhaps an extra turn on one of the monster cards, or they'll get a turn when otherwise they wouldn't have gotten one. It will always start with the monster with the lowest frenzy number. And that about wraps it up for the setup. So we will start the game. Now it is made of 2 phases, so we will show you on this card here. So these are all the different actions that you can perform in your turn. There's only 1 player active in any turn. And then here you may play any number of perk cards. So you can collect these or you can use them as you go. On the back here, it's going to show us the monster phase as well. It will also give us the different symbols that we will be looking out for on the cards as well. Players have normally 4 actions, you can see up here. One player does have 5 as their special ability, and each player has a special action as well. You can see along the bottom there. So our players will go first. So we will start with the archaeologist. So let's see what he can do here. So he can pick up items from an adjacent space. So he could go here and pick this up straight away. We'll need to look at what we're doing at the moment. So to defeat Dracula, we need to be using 3 red tokens, or at least 2 red tokens rather, with a value of at least 6. For the creature from the Black Lagoon, we need to get to the camp and use the 3 coloured tokens to move him around this track here. We can jump spaces if we're able to then get to the next one of that colour. You can see that they don't always go in order there. So if we go here, because that's the only place we can move, we're going to pick up this token here, the tower. That's going to be useful for the creature from the Black Lagoon. We will then move, so that's 2 actions, and then we will go 3, 4. So that's the end of our turn for this go. So it is now the monster's turn. So we will turn over the top card of this here. It's telling us to place 2 tokens. So we'll get 2 tokens out of our bag. We have got the barn. And we have got the mansion. So we've got a nice little collection on the mansion there. We'll now move to the next bit. So this is the meeting, but we don't have Frankenstein or Frankenstein's bride, so we ignore this bit. We now move down to here, and this will tell us what monsters are moving this turn. So we don't have Wolfman or the Invisible Man. We do have the creature from the Black Lagoon, and he's going to move 2 spaces. Now the rules with this is that it's going to move 2 spaces towards the nearest hero or villager. If a hero is closer than a villager, it will always move towards the hero, but if the villager's the nearest one, then it will move there. So it's going to move 2. So our archaeologist up here is the closest, so he is going to move 1, 2 here. Next bit is an attack roll. He has 1 dice to make an attack with. However, we're not in an adjacent or the same space, so that gets ignored. That card just goes off to one side. It is now the professor's turn. So it said you can see from here the different actions that he is able to do. Or he's got his special action here where you can move any hero or villager 1 space. So at the moment we don't want to do anything like that. So we're going to go here and we're going to collect these. So he gets both of these. And then he's going to move here. He's going to take this. This is going to go towards starting to defeat Dracula. So we've got those there as well. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4 actions for him. So he doesn't have any other actions. He can, if he so wishes, to use his perk ability. That means that each player here will draw and place 1 item from the item bag. He's going to do that. So he would pick 1, and that's going on the inn, which is up here. And then another one, that is going at the shop, which is just here. So he's not too far away from the shop, so he's going to be a good stand-in to get there and perhaps get our first casket for Dracula. So we turn this card over here. So we are placing 3 items. So we have got the docks, we have got the mansion's filling up nicely there, and we have got the barn. So we've got a few at the barn as well. We'll also take a look here. So this one is going to have us placing a villager at the shop. So we will just find that appropriate villager here. Here we go, so Wilbur and Chuck, they are placed at the shop. We need to get them to the dungeon, which is going to be up in this corner here. So they've got a fair way to go. If we get them there, then we get a perk card which can be given to either player. So they are there at the shop. the frenzied player, so that is Dracula here. He is going to move 1 space. Fortunately, there's no hero or villager in the same space as him, so the 3 dice are not rolled for that. Okay, so it is back to our archaeologist. So he is going to go 1, and he's going to pick these 2 up because he's in an adjacent space. So you can pick those 2 up. So that is 2, 3, 4. So he's going to end his move at the dungeon, but that's going to put us in good standing because next turn we're going to be able to use these 2 to defeat our first obstacle for Dracula. So we go to the monster's turn. We turn this card over. So we have got 2 items that will be drawn from the bag. So we have got this one here at the museum. And we've got this one here at the tower. So we are going there. Okay, move the hero or villager closest to Dracula 3 spaces towards him. Unfortunately, I believe that will be our poor villager here. 1, 2, 3. So he's now on the same space as him. This doesn't mean anything unless there is a roll for being attacked. So now the creature from the Black Lagoon is going to move. We don't have the mummy or the invisible man. He's going to move 1 space towards the closest villager or hero, which is going to be this way because now he's only a couple of spaces away from this villager. So far, our villager is unscathed, but it could prove to be our first fatality of the game. So it is the professor's turn. So we can't do anything with the graveyard at the moment. He only has 1, and that's only a 2. So he can move through here. So, for example, we may go 1, 2, 3, 4, pick those up. Or he can move 1, 2, 3 and move the villager out of the way. Conversely, the archaeologist may pipe up and say, I can move you up to 4 spaces because this perk card can be played during any hero phase. So we don't want to get any casualties too early in the game. So he's going to use that card to help his buddy. So he's going to move 1, 2, 3 to be able to collect those. Now, the professor is going to collect all 4 of these as his first action. So he has got quite a few there now. So he's got several that he can use to defeat Dracula or help defeat Dracula, and quite a few to help with the creature from the Black Lagoon as well. For his second turn, he's going to move Wilbur and Chick out of the way. So he's going to move them there. So that is action 2. That is action 3. And then action 4, he is going to move here. Now, because he's in this space, as I said previously, doesn't mean that Dracula gets to attack him. He may only attack him depending on the result of our next card. But he is 1 step closer to the crypt, so we may be able to get a couple of these caskets out of the way fairly soon. So we're going to reveal the cards. So there's no tokens placed this turn. Retreat for the creature from the Black Lagoon. So he has been placed at the waterfront. So he is all the way over here. So he is relatively out of the way of all of our heroes and villagers. We're then going to go through these. So we don't have the Wolfman or the Bride of Frankenstein. So we only have the frenzied one, which at the moment is Dracula. So he's going to move 1 space. He's already on a space with a hero, and he's going to roll 3 dice. So we get to show you what these dice do. So there's a blank space, a hit space, and an exclamation mark. The blank is just a miss. It will do nothing. The hit will mean that the player takes a hit, the terror track will move up 1, and the player is placed at the hospital. However, they can mitigate that by sacrificing any 1 token to ignore the hit, and then the exclamation mark is going to activate their special ability. For Dracula, it's placing the current hit player's hero in Dracula's space. So at the moment, it would just be the Professor anyway. And for the creature from the Black Lagoon, it's rock the boat, which moves the boat 1 spot backwards. So it could be detrimental in our travels around the boards here. So we rolled a 3 dice. we've got ourselves 2 hits. This early in the game, we don't want to take those 2 hits. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep those, and we're just going to sacrifice these 2. So those 2 go off to one side. We ignore the hits. Obviously, this is helpful in that we can carry on as normal. The terror track doesn't move. Our player isn't moved to the hospital. We're still on track to where we need to be, but we do lose tokens. And as you go through the game, sometimes you may have to just take the hit. So that is the professor's action done. So we move back to the archaeologist. So his first action, he's going to do this advance. So we're going to advance a task by using an item at a specified location. So we're going to discard these 2 as 2 there with a total value of 9. And we're going to destroy this casket. It then gets turned face up to show the destroyed side. And then it is placed on the appropriate location on Dracula's board here. So that is our very first action. So then we're going to go here for our second action. That will be our third action to take that, and our fourth action to take an item from an adjacent space. So there is our actions for this turn. We'll then turn the card over. So we have got 3 tokens that are being deployed. So we have got the barn here, we have got the tower, and our last one, we have got the camp. So the camp's building up nicely as well, which is probably where we will send our archaeologists very soon. We're placing Renfield at the docks, so we will just find Renfield in our stack of standees here. So he is at the docks. He could be in danger of being attacked, so we'll just double check down here. So we've got Dracula and a frenzied monster moving to attacking 2. So he's already in a space, so he will be attacking twice here. So he rolls his 2 dice. We have 2 misses, which is very nice for our professor. And then we roll our next 2. So we have got a hit and a special ability. So the professor's going to need to negate the hit, so he will just discard that. And then the archaeologist, because he is the current player, he is moved from here all the way over to the Abbey to the same space as Dracula. So nothing too drastic for us. Actually brings us a little bit closer to the camp. So now it is the professor's turn. He's going to spend his actions to take this one here. He's going to move down for 2, 3 to get rid of those, to destroy that. So that is 2 of Dracula's coffins smashed. And then 4, he's going to come to here. So now it is the monster's turn, so we will move that over. So we have got 3 tokens. So we have got the museum down here, we have got the inn up there, and we have the docks here. So we are going to move the frenzy marker to the next monster. So our creature from the Black Lagoon is now the frenzied monster. We'll move each villager 1 space towards their safe location. So he is going to move to the shop, and Renfield can only move up to the tower. Our frenzied monster is now going to move 3 spaces, roll 2 dice. So Renfield is unfortunately the closest, so he moves up to there, and he is going to roll his 2 dice. If he gets hits or he gets his special ability, we are fine. If he gets the hit though, we are going to be in trouble, as our first villager is going to have a fatality and our terror marker is going to move up the track. 2 misses, so Renfield is fine. His insanity has saved him. So we go to the professor. So he has got his 4 actions. He is simply going to go 1, 2, 3, and then he's going to use one of these to move the boat. So he's going to spend this one. It's a blue. That's going to move him up to the next blue space. So you can see he's able to skip quite a few there, and that is his go. And the game will carry on like this until we manage to complete the objectives of for Dracula, smashing the coffins and then using at least 2 yellows with a score of 6+ to defeat him, and with the creature from the Black Lagoon finding his lair and then using 1 of each colour, any value on his space, to defeat him. But as I said, there are 2 ways that we can lose. If the terror marker goes up to the 7th space there, the death space, or our entire deck of monster cards runs out. If either of those happen, then we have lost the game. So that is the sort of rundown of how the game is played. It is fairly straightforward. You are moving, you're picking up items, you're completing tasks, and you're moving villagers. And in between, the monsters are making their moves as well. And you'll obviously get more items, more villagers entering the board throughout the game. It's really, really fun. It does get really intense at times, especially later in the game when you've taken a few hits and the terror track is about halfway to 2/3 of the way up, which will be inevitable at some point in the game. And it can get really frustrating especially with the creature from the Black Lagoon, if he attacks and he gets his multiples of his or even 1 of his special ability, really sets you back a lot of spaces. But it's really good fun. It's really social game. It gets everyone talking, everyone involved. You're all working together, trying to strategize. And even though you do get to strategize and discuss, it still presents a really good challenge for everyone. Once you've got through with the creature and Dracula, you can mix and match for others. In the rulebook, it does give you an idea of the difficulties and complexities for the different monsters, so you can mix and match those however you see fit. That is everything for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions at all, do comment below. Call us on 01843 316 281. Sorry, that's 01843 316 281, or visit us on Ramsgate High Street. This game will be available as part of our new Monday group. We're doing a series of cooperative games, including this, Ultra, and Betrayal at the House on the Hill, to name a few. We've got about 10 spaces available across 2 games. So if you'd like to book in, do let us know as well using those contact methods. Thank you for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the boardroom.